junior. Prenez l'essai, Montréal, first down. Ligne de 48. Deuxième essai et 13 verges à franchir, 2nd and 13.
Après le match contre ils auront seulement 6 jours et un voyage en Saskatchewan.
Retenu numéro 66, Montréal. Pénalité refusée. Holding, Montreal number 66. Penalty decline. Troisième essai.
linebacker, leading tackler. 2024, Darnell Sank. He steps right in that A-gap. Little stuff. Stand back, short of the first down mark.
Leone ready to punt this away. It's going to be a low end over end kick. 10:31 left in the first quarter. The Alouettes leading 1-0 in preseason action on TSN 690.
Visit the Montreal Alouettes boutique anytime and find all the items you need.
Oh, his headphones are off.
I'm telling possession with the Alouettes getting a roost, so they lead 1-0. 10:31 left in the first quarter. As preseason action on TSN 690. As the Alouettes will be starting from their 24. But Alouettes look pretty good in their first drive. Just ended up in a holding call and a dropped ball in the end zone.
Yeah, a little bit of an improvised play on 2nd and long. Alexander was able to escape the pocket, taking a shot downfield to Charleston Rambo, collided with the goalpost, forcing the Alouettes to punt it away after their first possession.
So starting from their 24, starters still in. Walter Fletcher in the backfield. And he's going to get his first carry off the left side, trying to find a hole, and he'll get a couple of yards. Short gain, 2 or 3 over the 25. Mark him down to the 26.
Fletcher winds it back to the backside, looking for a little bit of a space, but good job by the Red Blacks defense. The Owls offense will make a substitution. 5th receiver coming onto the field. That'll see the Sioux.
He's in the slot on the left side. Big body. Switch over to the right side. Taking a snap. Looking deep down left side on the outside and overthrows his man, Charleston Rambo. And it's a 2-and-out. The Owls will have to punt. Trying to use Charleston Rambo's speed down the left side.
Well covered. You got to keep that up. Red Blacks defensive back Gavin Hesloff all over Rambo there. It looked like Alexander had his mind made up pre-snap that he's going to try and connect with Rambo, this time with no goalposts in sight
to help defend. So Joseph Zima out to punt, and Devontae Dedman standing back at his 32. A little bit of wind at the back. Zima, spiraling kick. Dedman has to step up to his 40. He'll get it. Far side of the field, cut up the middle. And he's got a seam, and watch out, Devontae Dedman. Down the field he goes, and he's going to take it to the house. Touchdown, Ottawa. So dangerous Dedman is. And he gets the first preseason score for the Red Blacks.
And that Zima punt hung up in the air a little bit, forcing those Alouettes gunners who are running down full speed to have to hit the brakes, and that allowed the Red Blacks punt return unit to get in good position to set up some blocks as Dedman brings it back inside and finds a seam right down the middle of that Alouettes punt unit. We just spoke about it on the last Zima punt, how Dedman was looking to get his hands on one because he's such a dangerous return man, and he shows the Alouettes why as he walks into the end zone, and that'll put the Red Blacks up early.
Extra point is blocked. And it's going to go over the head of Bryce Cosby. He'll pick it up in the end zone, and he wants to go for a little bit of return, but gets tackled at the 5. So extra point is no good. And the Red Blacks have a 6-1 lead thanks to Devontae Dedman's punt return touchdown on TSN 690.
Visit the Montreal Alouettes boutique anytime and find all the items you need to represent your team.
Yeah, much better.
Yeah,
Sounds good now. Yeah.
Online or in the stadium on game days, show your identity.
Yeah, I heard
Visit
what
the
you heard
boutique
too. I
site
just
at
was waiting to go to break. So. Block on the extra point.
Yeah. Just try and be as crisp as possible and manage substitutions. We're still early in this football game.
Yeah.
But a lot of the guys on both benches who are trying to make this football team, their way in the door is through special teams. And there's a lot of bodies, a lot of guys to evaluate. So we're going to see a lot of changes on all 4 of those core special teams units throughout the game. It's going to be a matter of guys being locked in, paying attention, making sure that they're out there when they need to be, and not just completely forget about special teams because now they're getting some offensive or defensive reps.
And Richie Leone is going to kick off for the 45, so we had a flag on that last play. Fletcher Jr. is going to take it in the far corner, go up the left sideline, and get tackled before he gets to the 30. And the Alouettes offense will jog right back out on the field for halfway through the first quarter. Davis Alexander 3 for 5, 18 yards. And this will be his third drive.
You got to think that Red Blacks special teams coordinator Rick Campbell is happy about that one. Rick Campbell, after a couple of seasons at the helm of the BC Lions, former Red Blacks head coach, now hired as part of Bob Dice's staff, who was the special teams coordinator on Rick Campbell's staff.
Interesting. The circle of life. Davis Alexander taking the snap, looking to his right, gets it out to Cole Speaker. He'll make the grab, but he's tackled right away. And a gain of about 5 to 6 yards on the wide side of the field.
Just a quick out there by Speaker. Lots of cushion pre-snap. Easy pitch and catch for Alexander. I think Alexander would have liked to have put that ball just a little more ahead of Speaker, allowing him to catch and turn upfield, but instead he's tackled almost immediately after making that catch.
5 receiver set. Thomas Erlington goes out as a receiver. He'll make the grab, and he's going to be short of the first down on a short out as he came right out of the backfield, and he'll only gain about 2 yards, and it's another 2 and out for the Alouettes offense despite the 2 completions. And the punting unit, Joseph Zima, right back to work, and we'll see if they even want to kick it to Dedmon, but there's a lot of open field out there as they're back at their own 35.
Another good defensive play by Red Blacks DB Gavin Heslop. On the previous possession, we saw him in coverage on Charleston Rambo. This time on second and medium, he stuffs Sean Thomas Erlington. Another quick 2 and out by the Alouettes offense.
See what the Owls want to do towards Dedmon. Special teams coordinator probably wants to test this team again and see if they can get better coverage because they're kicking it to Dedmon. He'll grab it at his 27. He'll come near side of the field. Owls will just push him out of bounds at the 35. Much better coverage this time around as the Red Blacks offense right back on the field with a 6-1 lead.
Good ball placement there by Zima, who was able to put that one over on the numbers. Dedmon had some space when he fielded that one, but good job by the Alouettes cover unit to force Dedmon out of bounds as the Owls defense will make their way out onto the field.
So after this play, I'm going to ask you, what does the defense need to do to impress in this game? Drew Brown sends a couple receivers, Pimpleton and Addison, over to the right side. Addison comes underneath. Brown in the pocket, well protected, right up the middle, and Hardy gets his hands on it, but it's knocked down. Najee Murray in coverage.
I think defensively, the Alouettes are going to want to find some guys and identify guys who are able to get after the quarterback. They need some pass rushers. This defense that is built on creating turnovers, heck, you could even call them a scoring defense with the amount of touchdowns that they've scored over the past couple of seasons. If they can put pressure on opposing quarterbacks with only 4 down linemen, that gives them an extra person in the secondary, tighter windows for opposing quarterbacks, which often results in more turnovers.
Owls have 6 lined up on the line, but flag on the play. And it's going to be procedure. So it'll be 2nd and 15. You talk about some of those pass rushers I did mention in the pregame show when you were down on the field. Mustafa Johnson, Lual Ugwak, and Antonio Moultrie all not dressed today. Sean Oakman is someone, and Dylan Wynn they're going to want to use on that run defense in the center. And I did see on the depth chart today, Tyrell Richards as a defensive end. As we know, he played a lot of time linebacker. He's kind of they're in a 3-4 right now, and Richards is out on the field, but he's very versatile. 3-man rush on 2nd and long. They're going to throw underneath, and the Alouettes, Sankey and Cosby get in on that tackle, and it's going to be a 2 and out, forcing the punt. 3rd and 7 upcoming from the Red Blacks 38.
And that's exactly what the Owls defense wanted on that 2nd and long. Forced the throw underneath and then rally to make a tackle, and that's exactly what they did as middle linebacker Darnell Sankey delivers a solid blow to the Red Blacks receiver.
Red Blacks punting the ball, spiraling kick. James Letcher Jr. has to back up to his 21, far side of the field, and he's going to try and get to the open side, try and get the edge. He's up the field. Now he's got to cut at the middles. He's got some blockers. Watch out. And he spins at the 45, almost gets to midfield. Great return from James Letcher Jr. It's very difficult to go sideline to sideline, but he was able to get the edge, Marco.
Good job by the return unit setting up the blocks there. High probability of a penalty on those field returns, but a clean play from the Alouettes special teams.
5:14 left of the first quarter. Alouettes trail 6-1 to the Red Blacks on TSN 690.
Montreal Alouettes football on TSN 690.
6-1, Red Blacks lead here in the first quarter. They got the touchdown on a punt return and then missed the extra point. The Alouettes with the Rouge, and the offense is right back out there. A couple 2-and-outs, so probably looking for a first down here, but a great return from James Letcher Jr. has them starting at their own 47.
And always a gamble when you try and set up that field return. Not only penalties, but losing some yards as well, as your return man often has to lose ground to turn that corner. But great job by Letcher Jr. and the punt return unit for the Owls.
Well, motion from Dallaire, and they're going to hand this off to Walter Fletcher. He'll come off the right side. Short gain, 2 to 3 yards, nearing the 50-yard line.
It looks like the Alouettes are going to go with 3 Americans on the offensive line this season, and so there'll have to be some discussions as far as the ratio and the required amount of national starters. Now, the Alouettes do have a couple of players, especially on the defensive side of the ball, that will qualify as nationalized Americans, including weak side linebacker Tyrese Beverett, so that'll give them a little bit of flexibility on how they want to approach the ratio.
Blitz coming, Davis Alexander's in trouble, and he goes down. And it was just nobody able to pick up everybody coming in. That was an all-out blitz. Davis Alexander stepped up in the pocket, and then he had no time to throw the football. And it's going to be third down and another 2-and-out. So Owls offense trying to find their groove, not just yet. And Zima is coming out, and he's like, I got to come out here again?
That was a well-timed blitz off the edge by Red Blacks defensive back Bennett Williams. He came free off the left side, right into Davis Alexander's face. Meanwhile, pocket collapsing in front of the Alouettes quarterback as he's forced to swallow that one up.
Fourth punt of the day already in the fourth quarter for Zima. High punt. Dedman will grab it at his 25, trying to find a hole, goes his right to his left, and then it has to be taken down. Much better coverage since that punt return. And the Red Blacks will start from the 30. Just want to take the time right now and shout out to the Hawks on their way to their fourth game of a hockey tournament up in Blainville. Big win this morning for the Hawks, 6-5. And they're looking for another win and possibly qualify for the quarterfinals tomorrow.
Gotta love that. Beautiful Blainville. Gorgeous this time of year.
Yeah, just love driving up that 15 in traffic. So if you're sitting back and listening, just know there's a couple hockey players on their way up to a hockey tournament. 31-yard line. They're going to mark it down, and Drew Brown would stand back in the backfield, goes into the I formation. They're going to hand that off, stand back off the left side, puts his shoulders down, and rumbles for 4 yards, something he's done numerous times on this field for the Alouettes.
Going back to the ratio and the defensive line depth you alluded to on the previous drive with Tyrell Richards slotted in at a defensive end position. Al's likely to go with 2 Canadian defensive ends this year with Noel Ugwak and Isaac Adeyemi Berglund, and so you would expect Richards to get in the mix as well, so we could see that 3-man rotation along the defensive line for the Owls early in this season.
And way offside as there was a timing issue, and with a limited crowd, about 12,000 I'm told, helping out the Owls defense as 3 receivers were about 10 yards down the field.
The whole left side of the Red Blacks offense. Looked like that was Khalil Pimpleton and Justin Hardy.
So they'll back up 5, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Throwing, going up the field, and incomplete. Great coverage from Wes Sutton on Hardy. Able to knock that away as they were going for about a 15-yard gain up to the 45 from the 30. It goes incomplete, and now it's the Red Blacks' turn to punt the ball away. 2:22 left in the first quarter. Alouettes are down by 5, 6-1. A little bit of a hockey score right now. Richie Leone standing back at his 15. Spiraling kick. James Letcher Jr. has to back up 5 yards to the 25. Get at the hash marks. First guy misses. Up the right side. He'll get tackled near the 35. 1:59 left in the first quarter. 6-1 Red Blacks lead. Alouette football on TSN 690. Penalty on the play. So they've had some time to discuss it. There was a penalty on the play, I believe.
Illegally downfield on a kick, Ottawa 99. Le joueur d'Ottawa, numéro 99, s'est déplacé au-delà de la ligne de mêlée avant que le ballon soit botté. Pénalité de diverge. Du point dernière remise, on reprend le troisième.
All right, so they're going to redo that. That was Kenya Onyeke, but he's 99 on the roster I have, but I also have him listed as not dressed. So it may not have been number 99. There could also be another 99 that is not even on anybody's roster. That has definitely happened to me before in preseason action in the CFL. So back it up.
Anti-gunner dragged his man down to the ground there. Tried to plead his case to the officials before heading back to the Montreal sideline, but that was an easy call for the refs, as the Alouettes' decision to make the Red Blacks punt again is actually going to cost them a couple of yards after that penalty. CFL play, the zone read with the bender coming across the formation as Rambo came from left to right behind the line of scrimmage. Just an easy pitch and catch into the right side flat. Looked like Robert Priester, the Red Blacks defensive back, came off the left side edge of that defense, was picked up by Walter Fletcher, but Fletcher gets driven back into Alexander. It looked like that ball popped off of the helmet of Walter Fletcher as he was on roller skates trying to pick up that blitz. Look like. Looks like those two were tied up behind the play. Mason, one of the upbacks in that Alouettes punt unit. the air horns, a sound that CFL fans were so familiar with here in Montreal. Three times over the next 4 weeks or so. Gino Lewis, the veteran receiver, comes inside, recognizes the zone coverage, and just settles right there on the hash mark. Easy landmark throw for Drew Brown, who was well protected once again. This is Red Blacks offense tries to get in gear. And and if you want to get a feel for his size at home, why don't you Google his name from Baylor's bowl game a couple of years ago at the coin toss. It'll give you an idea of how that man is built. Something we saw a lot of last season from this Montreal defense. Wes Sutton coming off the edge. Sutton finishing the year with to get a hit on Drew Brown. Ball falls incomplete, and the Red Blacks will have to punt it. Pressure from the Ottawa defense and gets the football out of his hands. Good gain on first down. Like he was looking for Austin Mack in the slot to his right, and just when he was just about to let go of that football, Red Blacks defender flashed right in the throwing lane Alexander tried to pull that one back, but it was too late as that one skips off the turf and lands incomplete. Another quick 2 and out from this Montreal. Chance to reset those feet either as he kind of sidearms that one out into the right side flat. Wes Sutton all over it, but just unable to get his hands on the football as Gosselin gets the catch. He's able to tiptoe the sideline and get enough for a first down. And you got to wonder if that no-huddle offense for the Red Blacks is causing some communication problems, as that's the second time we see Red Blacks receivers going offside. Good job by Beverett playing that hook curl as he flips his hips and is able to stay inside of Hardy, who was trying to wrap around the Owls defender. Great defensive play by number 26. Got a late flag there.
Now we're starting to see some substitutions. We'll try and keep track. Ball out for the Alouettes offense. Back at it. With 9:08 left in the second quarter, down 6-1 on TSN. Well, it was announced during the commercial break. Referee got together and maybe it came from upstairs, Marco. A spearing penalty on the tackle on Sean Lindsay. 25 yards, moving the ball all the way to the Red Blacks 47 for the Alouettes offense.
Yeah, great opportunity for Davis Alexander in this Montreal offense here, as they will start in Red Blacks territory, an offense that has struggled throughout this football game. They had a decent looking first drive, but since then, not much out of this first unit, as Jason Moss would like to see a little more out of his starting offense here in this first preseason game.
Fullbacks over on the left side. Davis Alexander throwing out to Cole Speaker on the right. Put his shoulder down to get about 10 yards and see where he's pushed out of bounds. That could move the chains for the Alouettes. They're going to call that first down.
Davis Alexander with double hitches to his right. Big cushion on the outside as Cole Speaker didn't have a Red Blacks defender within about 7 yards from him when he caught that football.
Third catch of this football game. 8:45 left in the second quarter. Alouettes down 6-1. Their opening drive resulted in a rouge. Alexander back in the pocket, well protected, taking his time, stepping up. Now the pocket collapse. The ball is loose. It's on the ground. It rolls out to the wide receiver position on the outside of the field, and that's where Walter Fletcher was. But there is flags on the play.
And they're going to call that one a forward pass.
And a hold against the Alouettes. But there was good protection. There was time, but there was no one open downfield. Put them back to where they started at the 47 of the Red Blacks, making it 1st and 20. Going backwards, this offense is. This is the preseason. Trying to find their groove right now. 5 receiver set. That's fullback Jacob Mason back in the backfield now, so 4 receivers out there. Going down the field, it's up for Austin Mack, and into double coverage, and he can't come down with it. It's incomplete. And as he was looking 30 yards down the field inside the red zone.
That was
Looked good, but it was just very tight window.
Red Blacks playing that cover 3 defense with the low halfback as Austin Mack was running right down that left side seam. Alexander trying to put it on a rope in between defenders, but good job by the Red Blacks secondary converging on Mack there as that one will fall incomplete.
2nd and 20. They're going to go with the screen over to Walter Fletcher. He's going to put his shoulders down, and there's going to be a flag on the play. He'll get about 8 yards to the 40, 39 yards. We'll see where they mark him down.
And I think we're going to get a holding call on Al's receiver, Daniel Odoladajo.
And they're going to push him back. It'll be 3rd down from the 40. They're going to push it back. They're not going to take the 3rd down. That would have probably game. Only one extra point attempt, and that was blocked. The Owls are now back in their own territory at their own 53. 2nd and a whole lot. Are we thinking onside punt? Davis Alexander back in the pocket. Stepping up. And he's going to throw down towards the sidelines. Out of bounds towards Charleston Rambo. It was an uncatchable ball. And it goes incomplete. And the Owls will now have to punt again halfway through the second quarter as the rain starts here at Percival Molson Stadium.
Missed opportunity for this Montreal offense as they started with great field position after the 25-yard penalty on the punt against the Red Blacks. But after a couple of penalties of their own, Alouettes facing a 3rd and extra long are going to be forced to punt here.
So Joseph Zima still out there. I would think his day would be done soon enough with all the punting he's had to do. Lincoln Victor back at his 15 will grab it, find a hole, jump out to the right side. Watch out, he's got some speed. And the Owls can't catch up to him. He gets to the 40 to the 45, and Zima pushes him out of bounds at the 46. And it comes all the way back to where the Alouettes started, and now it's going to be Red Blacks ball. And they lead 6-1, 6:49 left in the second quarter on TSN 690. Red Blacks back with the ball at their own 46. They're up 6-1. The only touchdown of this game, Devontae Dedmon's punt return. Defense on both sides looked really strong. Both offenses just really can't get any momentum whatsoever. And the Alouettes' lone point coming on a rouge on the opening drive as the rain and the sky has really opened up here on this preseason game. And I see another umbrella. And security just came and told them, put that away. You come to a football game, you're not allowed umbrellas. Bring the ponchos.
I feel like we should get some type of compensation for helping security here at Percival Molson Stadium.
Drew Brown still in. So some of the starters for the Red Blacks are trying to find their groove here in the second quarter. They're going to hand it off, stand back, off the right side, going nowhere, maybe 2 yards, maybe a yard. Second and long upcoming. Sean Oakman right in on that.
Not much doing for Stanback so far in this football game. That his 4th carry. Only 7 yards on the stat line for Stanback. Montreal fans used to seeing some explosive runs out of William Stanback during his time in an Alouettes uniform.
One of my favorites to deal with. Always so gracious with his time as he stands to the right of Drew Brown. 5 receiver set, 3 in a bunch on the left side. Brown in the pocket, ball is up, and it goes incomplete. And a late flag comes in on the play on the far side of the field.
It looks like they're going to say Cosby got there a little early, trying to get in front of the receiver to knock that one down.
As the Red Blacks are already marching up the field on second and long.
Yeah, penalty will push the ball into Montreal territory.
Interférence dans la zone de la passe. Montréal numéro 43. Defensive pass interference. Montreal number 43. Automatic first down, point of foul.
Yeah, they're calling that 43, but that's 23, Bryce Cosby. I believe you have that right number. I know your eagle eyes are all over that. And early in Cosby's career with the Owls, he did have a little trouble with penalties, but I thought he was able to even that out a lot last year with some very solid play. He's got the long white sleeves going. As ball is thrown, they're going to go underneath on 1st and 10 in Alouette territory, gain of about 7 or 8 or 9. Interesting, Stanback went out as a wide receiver, and Sankey went out on the wide side to cover him. I think Sankey was excited that they might throw to Stanback, but now it's going to be 2nd and short. They get to the ball right away underneath. Drew Brown trying to sneak it forward on the quarterback sneak. Looks like he might have got enough. We'll see where they mark it. I don't want to declare a first down just yet. But, yes, that's going to be a first down. They'll move the chains. Drew Brown, first down all the way to the Alouette 40.
Offense is often trying to get a jump on coverage by motioning the tailback out of the backfield to see who's going to follow him, usually an indicator of man coverage when that linebacker vacates the box to go cover the receiver. This time the Owls were in a zone defense, but Khalil Pimpleton able to find some space in that left side slot. Easy pitch and catch.
5 receiver set, 3 to the right for Drew Brown. Receivers in motion. Here comes the blitz. Drew Brown's hit. The ball is up, and it goes incomplete. And Drew Brown got hit hard by Byron Vaughns on the outside. He's in the mix to be one of those defensive linemen, but we do have a flag on the play again. Welcome to the preseason. Looked like a late flag, far side of the field in the secondary. And the Red Blacks are moving up the field once again, as this has been a flag-aided drive all the way to the Alouettes 31.
And the Owls were in man coverage, well covered on that left side as Drew Brown was looking over there. As we heard a part of the call from head official Andre Prue.
It's preseason for the officials as well. Don't forget, we got a doubleheader on TSN 690. Oh, now they're bringing it back. All right, let's see what's happening. Oh.
Après discussion entre l'équipe d'arbitrage, il est décidé qu'il n'y avait pas d'infraction pour interférence. After discussion amongst the officiating crew, there was no defensive pass interference on the play. It is an incomplete pass. Deuxième.
All right, there you go. Explained. I think the other official's like, no, don't announce it.
The ability to recognize your own mistakes and correct the situation. Good job by the officials there on that one.
The ball's back at the 41, 2nd and 10. Drew Brown going up the middle. It hangs, and Dequoy almost gets a piece of it, and he ran into his own man, Cosby. They were both going for the ball, and little handshakes around. It's going to be third down and a long field goal attempt upcoming.
Oh, Drew Brown was looking for Pimpleton in the right side slot, threw it behind the intended receiver. There were 3 Owls defenders there, including Cosby, who was kind of just waiting for the football to hit him right between the numbers, but Marc-Antoine Dequoy comes flying underneath, trying to get a piece of that one. A little bit of friendly fire as that one lands incomplete, and the Red Blacks will get a field goal attempt.
Lewis Ward, it wasn't a great snap. It's going to be short. John Lindsay will pick it up at the goal line on the field goal attempt from 49 yards, and it's a missed field goal return. Lindsay high stepping down the left side and pushed out of bounds at the 35. And he runs into the signage on his own as it's getting a little slippery out there with the rain coming down. So no points on the board, and the score will remain 6-1 for the Red Blacks. And Lewis Ward, yes, it came up short, but you could tell that the holder, I think that was Richie Leone, it slipped out of his hands, and it hit the turf, and he tried to pop that ball up, and I don't think it was the greatest hold.
Not the smoothest operation there on that field goal attempt. Now, Red Blacks regular long snapper Peter Ajay not in uniform today. Instead, they have Desmond Pelto handling the long snapping duties, and looks like he had a little bit of a misfire on that one.
Davis Alexander rolling out to his left. He's going to get this out to Tyler Snead for a 5-yard gain up to the 40-yard line. Another short gain, and that offense is working for the Owls. Quick hitches, short gains, but they can't get down the field. They're going to play the little hurry up here. 3:25 on the clock left in the second quarter. Could be the final drive for this offense. We'll see what they want to do here. 2nd and 5 from their own 40. Davis Alexander throwing once again underneath for Charleston Rambo. He'll turn upfield and get close to midfield across the 50 to the 53. First down, Montreal.
Good job on the quick game there by Alexander, who catches the snap, sets his feet, and gets the ball to the outside. Quick hitch route by Charleston Rambo along that left sideline, and now
we've hit the 3-minute warning. So the Alouettes finally get some momentum, and it's stopped by the clock. They're down 6-1. Welcome to the preseason, Alouettes and Red Blacks on TSN 690. 3 minutes left in the second quarter. Alouettes starting offense still out there on the field, but they only have 1 point. This may be the only action they see in the entire preseason, so I'm sure they want to do something with this drive. They've gotten the ball up to midfield at their own 53. Can Davis Alexander piece something together and get the Alouettes on the board?
Not very many changes in that offensive unit. We did see Stevie Scott III lined up in the backfield. He's out there alongside Davis Alexander. Walter Fletcher looks like his day may be done.
And standing to his right, Stevie Scott. Davis Alexander is going to hand this off to Stevie Scott, and he'll cross over midfield and get into red-black territory. And it'll be 2nd and about 7. So Stevie Scott, as the rain is definitely picked up here at Percival Molson Stadium. As we've noticed, it's coming straight down, not rolling into our booth too much, but slippery conditions is from one side to the other. Blitz coming. Davis Alexander in the pocket. He throws that, and he overshoots Cole Speaker, looking for the first down. Goes incomplete, and the Owls will have to punt.
Well picked up by the Montreal offense, giving Alexander plenty of time. He had his open man to the right side with Cole Speaker as the Red Blacks secondary was playing off there with the pressure coming, but got to wonder if maybe Alexander had some trouble gripping that ball with the rain coming down here at Percival Molson Stadium. There were some light flurries throughout the day, but this might be the hardest it's rained so far in this football game.
This is really coming down. Now starting to enter our booth here at TSN 690. It's a short punt. The Owls have to watch out it doesn't bounce towards them. It looks like it's going to be no yards, and then jumping in on that ball, I think the Alouettes are going to get it. That was a heads-up play. Joseph Zima came in. He can get that football. I think it's recovered by the Red Blacks, but Al's almost had it. As Joseph Zima realized the ball was bouncing around, went right in for that football, and now the downpour has began. They threw the flag, but they may pick it up.
There was MJ Sherman, who was
There's no infraction for no yards. Montreal 36 is the punter, and he was the first one to touch the football.
Yeah, Al's got away with one there due to the heads-up play of punter Joseph Zima, because rookie MJ Sherman was within the 5-yard halo, but because the Red Blacks return man didn't touch the ball first, there's no call, no penalty on Sherman, as the Red Blacks will take over from their own 25-yard line.
It's going to be a new quarterback in for the Red Blacks, as they have now turned to, I believe that is Dustin Crum.
It's either Dustin Crum or Matthew Schiltz. We're having a tough time seeing down there on the field.
Rain across. I know that Mr. Schiltz, he likes the shaded visor, so that is Matthew Schiltz. Matthew Schiltz always likes the tinted visor. Must be dark out there with the cloud cover and the rain coming in. Schiltz, the former Alouette, in at quarterback, a short gain of 2 yards. He's in trouble. He's going to scramble himself. He loves to run. The Owls trying to get a piece of him. He'll go down short of the first down, and with 1:44 left here in the second quarter, the Red Blacks will punt it away.
Good effort by the Owls defense as they rush 5, forcing Schiltz off of his read. He finds an escape lane inside, but middle linebacker Darnell Sankey collapses on the Red Blacks quarterback, and that's a quick 2 and out from the Ottawa offense. Alouettes will have another opportunity to try and get some points on the board here before heading back into the locker room. And there's minute 30 left on the clock.
Spiraling kick to John Lindsay, back to his 25. Grab it over his right shoulder. Try and get to the outside. And if he can get to the edge, he'll get upfield to the 30, and he'll go sideline to just across the 30 and come out of bounds. And you're right, maybe one more opportunity for the Alouettes' top offense. And, yeah, they're coming out onto the field. See if they could get some sort of spark going. Davis Alexander with 1:17 on the clock. We were told he was going to play the first half. This could be it, starting from his own 33, down 6-1. Then we're going to see the backups.
Well, these are some good situational reps for this offensive unit here to work on that 2-minute offense. You try and recreate these situations in practice, but it's never the same as doing it in a game with an actual clock going against an opposing defense.
A little screenplay up the middle to Stevie Scott, but maybe with the wet weather, it bobbled through his hands, incomplete. They were drawing in the fire. Davis Alexander took a shot, and it goes incomplete.
I think if Scott would have been able to hang on to that one, looks like he was going to break that initial tackle attempt by the Red Blacks defender and had 2 lead blockers up ahead of him, but the Owls running back just unable to hang on to that one.
So 2nd and 10, Alouettes from their own 32. Receivers in motion. Davis Alexander takes a snap. In the pocket, he's going to roll right. He's being chased. He'll throw that over to Stevie Scott. He makes the grab. He's got to get some extra yards, and he'll muscle his way to the 40. They're going to mark him down at the 40, and it's going to be 3rd and 2. Well, the Alouettes go for it with 1:04 left. Davis Alexander's walking back to the center of the field. He does not want to punt, but the Alouettes, they're bringing in the big guys? No, they're going to punt.
Good situational awareness there by Scott as he caught that football with his shoulder pads facing the sideline, but knowing that he needed to get upfield and get some yards to trying to get to that first down marker. He lowers the shoulder, but there are about 4 or 5 Red Blacks defender that were able to keep him just short of the first down. It's another 2 and out from this Montreal offense, and a punt from Joseph Zima, who's had a very busy afternoon here at Percival Molson Stadium.
The only one with points, because he's got the Rouge, and there's a ball with no yards. That's going to be picked up by Lincoln Victor. He'll cross over the 40. They'll tack on a few more. as there was no yards on that return with 34.8 seconds remaining. Special guest coming up at halftime, Marco, the guy that got your job. We've got the commissioner of the CFL. He's in the house. He looks very dry, unlike us in our workstation.
15-yard penalty and a first down.
So that'll push the ball up for the Red Blacks.
We'll have some hard-hitting questions for him, such as, what are you going to do about our equipment getting drenched here this afternoon?
We don't like bringing our window down here. We like to live in the elements. 34 seconds left. Red Blacks up 6-1 in the second quarter. We got a whole other half. Matthew Schiltz will put his receivers in motion. In the pocket, a little screen out to the outside. And running to the outside and near a first down. Big collision. Jalen Samuels with the grab. And that should be able to move the chains. First down at midfield for the Red Blacks with 27.5 seconds left.
That looked like Alouettes defensive back Lorenzo Burns with the physical play there out on the far sideline.
.27 seconds left as he got out of bounds. The clock stopped. Al showing blitz. They're going to bring 5. Schiltz in the pocket. Holding. He's in a little trouble. Scrambling out to his right. Still with the ball. Now he's trying to get to the edge. He'll throw it out of bounds as the Owls were not letting him turn upfield. Great work by Najee Murray all the way from the other side of the field to chase him down. And that killed about 8 seconds. And we got 2nd and 10 from midfield.
Great run there by Najee Murray, who was playing right in the middle of that defense with eyes on the quarterback. And as soon as Schiltz was able to find some space and escape to his right, Murray triggers downhill. Great angle by the Owls defender, forcing Schiltz to throw that one away. 19 seconds left on the clock here in the opening half of this preseason tilt between the Alouettes and Red Blacks.
2nd and 10. Owls bringing 5 again. Schiltz in the pocket, holding strong out towards the sidelines. It's up, caught, and it's going to be short of the first down, out of bounds, stopping the clock. Good grab by Latrell Jones. Up to the 50, and it'll be 3rd and 3 from the Owls' 50 with 12.2 seconds left. Yeah, it looks like they're going to punt the ball away. Even in the preseason, teams don't want to go for it, Marco.
Which is interesting. I feel like you have an opportunity to practice these situations, and as I mentioned, you can try and recreate them in practice, but it's just not the same as having those live action reps.
Maybe the chance is to, if he does bomb one over the head, he can make it a 7-1 game and get that extra point they always wanted with 12.2 seconds left. Noah Getman in punting now. Richie Leone's day is done. Getman standing on his side of half. High snap, he has to jump for it. And he's going to boot this one towards the end zone. Tejon Lindsay grabs at the 2, but he bobbles it. It's loose, it's in the end zone, and the Red Blacks recover. There is a flag on the play. Touchdown, Ottawa.
Oh, and that's going to be no yards against the Red Blacks as the man who recovered it in the end zone, Elijah Collins,
Ottawa numéro 35.
was within the 5-yard halo.
15 verges de pénalité.
So from the 2-yard line, they'll come up to the 17. There's no time on the clock.
La pénalité est refusée. No.
No, if you refuse, it's a touchdown.
Hang on a second, folks.
Yeah, half the Owls are in the locker room. And the Owls, if you refuse the touchdown, that was good.
If you decline that.
I was like, oh, you're going to decline that. That's going to be a touchdown.
We're just giving away points here.
Andre Proulx all over that one.
No respect de l'immunité, Ottawa, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So they have to take the snap with no time left on the clock. At least we're entertained in a 6-1 preseason game.
Well, we need something.
So this will take us to half, and a lot to discuss about the Alouettes and their offense only getting 1 point in this first half as Davis Alexander will take a knee. And not the half that this offense really wanted, but second half, we'll get a glimpse of some of the players that are going to try and make the team.
Absolutely. Great opportunity for some of these young guys, not only to get reps on offense and defense, but special teams as well. I mean, you can only have 12 guys out there for each play, so not everybody is going to get their chance to go out there. But throughout these third and fourth quarters, we're going to see a lot of rotation. And it goes back to what we were talking about in pregame, the mental load on a lot of these rookies and young players coming up in this second half. They better be ready to play. They got to put all these issues with the weather behind them because they got to focus on their job and make sure they're out on the field when they need to be.
And we'll find out if you have any
that might have been the highlight of the first half. PKP will be happy. He's got a big old Videotron spot there. That clip will be playing.
Yeah. All right, one more, Osa. Okay. Some of the highlights of the first half with the Alouettes trailing the REDBLACKS 6-1. A preseason score, preseason action on the TSN 690. We'll be right back at it with the REDBLACKS and the Alouettes next Friday in Ottawa. Then the season starts June 6th, Alouettes and Argos here on TSN 690, live from Percival Molson Stadium. I'm Sean Campbell, along with Marco Bruyette, and we are welcomed by the CFL Commissioner. I like to call him my old boss from TSN, Stuart Johnson. Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I miss you in my old role. Happy to be here in the new one.
Well, I think this is with what you were doing at TSN, this was the only way that we would probably interact, is the fact that now you are the CFL commissioner. And on top of that, we got Marco Bruyette, who we say every day here on our broadcast, the future commissioner of the CFL. So you took his job. He wanted your job.
I tell you, I'm ready for a deputy commissioner.
Well, actually, the way I see it, you're just keeping the chair warm for me, so.
Yeah, I know, Marco. You told me if it's not this time, it's going to be next time. So, Marco, I'm going to leave it to you because you're the one who has all the hard-hitting questions because Stuart's got a big job to fill. This is not an easy job, the commissioner of the CFL.
Absolutely. I mean, you're stepping into this role after Randy Ambrosie went through a lot of turmoil, especially during that COVID period. A lot of people were critical of him, including myself. What is your view of the state of the CFL as we move into this 2025 season and you're taking over as commissioner?
First off, Marco, I'm excited. I'm excited about the state of the CFL. If I look at it, on a number of key metrics on which I think you measure the health of the league, things look pretty good. They're not perfect by any means, and we have a lot of work to do. But I'll start with, I think this is the strongest group of owners that I've seen at the CFL in 25 years that I've worked with the CFL. So you start with an incredible ownership group that's dedicated to putting the right resources against the entertainment options, new non-sports options coming in, new platforms. We all have to be aware that it's a fight every day and a grind.
How big is it to have markets like Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver, your big markets, like starting to kind of find that groove and thrive? And we know with the new ownership here in Montreal, but there's still a lot of little things if we're going to bring it locally from the stadium. I love this stadium, but there's a lot, that goes with the stadium, the practice facility. There's all those little things here in Montreal that I think everybody feels needs to go the next level.
I'm going to come back to this as a grind. So first off, to answer your question, I love the ownership groups that we have in those 3 particular markets, as well as the other 6, including the 2 community-owned teams. But from the privately owned teams, it is incredible to have 3 unbelievably strong owners in those biggest urban markets. But it is a grind. That's what we do. It's one step forward, and you see every year improvements that are coming. There are some big swings and big decisions that every owner is going to have to look at. I'm going to interpret your view of the stadium as charming. That's that's what I take from that.
I love it, yes. But I also know so many fans and friends that come and they're like, but there's little things about it.
There's I've been coming to this stadium for about 40 years, and I have similar feelings. Sometimes it's just that charm, and the location
yes.
is so incredible, and the vibe you can get in here is amazing. But it's an old stadium, and it comes with those, some of the things that like all of us who have old homes or old cars, things break down, and those are the things you have to look at. But generally, I am very pleased with the way the Alouettes football out on the field, and I'm loving every second of that, the way that they're enjoying this beautiful game. My daughter plays flag football. How do we get more footballs into the hands of young people, men and women, boys and girls? How can we create an even more entertaining product? How can we look at every aspect of our business and decide, can we do better? Can we improve this? Do we have to do this the way we used to do it? Can we do it something a different way in this new world? Are there other platforms we can talk about? Right now, TSN is looking at putting live games on their TikTok channel, right? These are the types of things that I want to see us focus on. Those are things that we can control. And at the end of the day, if we do that and we are successful at that, I think we're going to end up with 9 much healthier franchises. And if we have 9 much healthier franchises, I think we're going to be pretty attractive to a 10th, 11th, and 12th.
How do you keep the Canadian aspect in the CFL?
Well, I think it starts with there's nothing to do right now. We are Canadian. We are Canadian in every sense of the word. If you think about the only major sports league in Canada that has all its teams in Canada, we have some very unique rules to a game that's played elsewhere that are Canadian. We have a ton of Canadian talent on the field. We have the community involvement, I think, with our league, and as someone who has spent 30 years in the sports industry with relationships across the board, across all kinds of sports, I do find there's something very unique about the community aspect of the CFL. We were talking earlier, a group of us, about Grey Cup, and I've been lucky enough to go to some of the biggest sporting events in the world, and I count the Grey Cup amongst them. But in no other sporting event do I see the community feel of 9 groups of fans coming together at the championship game and celebrating the game together, almost regardless of who's in it. You've both seen that. It's something special. So there's a lot that's special from a Canadiana standpoint, and here in 2025, I've said 2025, the Rouge is here to stay, and we're looking for a great year.
Yeah, we already have a Rouge in this game. Last one, Marco?
Well, you touched on flag football, and I think the Olympics are on a lot of people's minds. Will we see any CFL players in LA for the 2028 Olympic Games?
Marco, I am incredibly motivated to make that happen. I think it would be outstanding for the growth of flag itself, and for the growth of football in general, including contact.
If you could email me the whole thing, because I'm going to use it for the Owls this week. Yeah, send me the full, but you could cut and put them in like Alouettes or whatever, and then just send an email. So yeah, because the morning show might use it or something. All right. Well, that was a lot of fun. Stuart Johnson. I know that the relationship seems to start off on the right foot at this point for you, Marco, and the new commissioner, because I know that you and Randy had an interesting relationship. He still always came by and gave us his time, but he did have a little bit of a tough time as commissioner of the CFL, and now we have a new one, Stuart Johnson, who seems to love the game as much as we do, which is a great sign as the Alouettes kick the ball off to the Red Blacks and flag on the first play, and a lot of the starters will be coming out of the game now, Marco.
Yeah, we'll be seeing a lot of new faces on both sides of the football for both of these football teams, as already we see some new players, part of this Alouettes defensive unit. And as you mentioned, this second half will start with yet another flag. This time looks like a block from behind against the Red Blacks kickoff return unit.
And when you get
Conduite répréhensible, objectionable conduct, Ottawa, 10-yard penalty, diverge de pénalité, premier essai.
There you go. So that'll bring the ball back to the 31, not the 41. 6 seconds into this third quarter, where the Red Blacks lead 6-1. A high-octane offense. No, it is not. As you have a special teams touchdown. Nothing doing offensively. One field goal attempt. It was short from 49 yards. And Matthew Schultz in at quarterback. Thrown out. He took the dark visor off, by the way. I just realized that. I was like, is that a new quarterback? Same quarterback, but he took the visor off. I think he realized it was not sunny whatsoever. Out to the outside, and that's about 6 yards. 2nd and 4 upcoming. Ball up at the 37.
Good decision there by Schultz, getting the ball out of his hands quickly, and another good decision taking that visor off. As even under good conditions, the clouds in the sky could make it difficult to see with that dark smoke visor that we're so used to seeing Schultz with.
Receivers in motion for the Red Blacks. Alouette's going to bring some numbers. Schultz in the pocket in a little bit of trouble, and he's going to go down. Sacked! That blitz came in on the outside. Teron Mullen got a piece of Schultz. Had the big body in the middle of Trevon Mason as well. Number 90, you can't miss him. Trevon Mason for the Alouettes. 6'6", 312.
Good job by the Owls defense, who are in zone coverage, reading Schultz's eyes. There were 3 Owls defenders on the second level of that defense who were shuffling in unison as Schultz was looking over to his right side, forced to eat that ball.
Should have kept the visor on so they couldn't see his eyes. To John Lindsay will grab it at his own 20. If you remember, he fumbled that last one at the end of the punt, but now he bounces out to the outside, trying to get the edge, and just pushed out of bounds. Where did he step out? It was near midfield. But that was a shifty run. Oh, they're going to bring it back. He stepped down at the 47. Byron Archambault is trying to convince the referee that it was a little further up the field. But to John Lindsay, after a little fumble at the end of the second quarter, is able to have a big return, and he jumps right into the receiver position. As we've got some new names for you on offense, including new quarterback, McLeod Bethel Thompson in the shotgun. He's got Stevie Scott to his left at the running back position. He's going to roll out to the left and throw this out to Tejon Lindsay, and in and out of his hands, incomplete on the wide receiver dump off as he was coming from the right to left. A little misdirection with the fake handoff to Stevie Scott. 2nd and 10.
And a good acquisition by the Alouettes in the offseason, bringing in veteran quarterback McLeod Bethel Thompson, who's had some success in the CFL going into his 7th year. Slated to be number 2 on the depth chart behind Davis Alexander, but it's a long season and lots can happen, especially with a young quarterback.
4-man rush, ball's up, intercepted, and the Red Blacks get the first turnover of the game, picked off. Amari Henderson getting his hands on that football. Red Blacks take over in Owls territory at the 39.
Bethel Thompson was looking for receiver Jordan Vesey, who's had a strong training camp so far here in 2025. He was running the hook route right down the hash mark. It looked like Bethel Thompson may have been a little late on his throw there. The Red Blacks defender able to undercut that one and come up with the interception. Amari Henderson. And the Red Blacks will start in Montreal territory.
Schultz in trouble, and he'll just throw this one away as he had hands on him in the backfield as the blitz came. Looks like there was a little miscommunication in the backfield for the Red Blacks, and he got out of the pocket and threw it away. A veteran move from the veteran quarterback who's seen his time on numerous teams across the CFL. Plays whistled in. 2nd and 10 from the Alouettes 39 after the intercepted Red Blacks football.
Schultz, who started his career in Montreal, spent some time in Hamilton, Calgary, and now with the Ottawa Red Blacks fighting for that backup position behind starter Drew Brown.
No one in the backfield. He's got 4 receivers to his left. He'll go underneath, and it's going to be caught by Lincoln Victor. Short of the first down, it'll be 3rd and 3 or 2.5 at the Alouette 32, and the field goal unit's going to come out. Lewis Ward is still in. He's going to kick this one.
Good play there by rookie free safety Vincent Delille out of Laval University. He comes up from his free safety spot and makes a solid tackle well short of the first down marker.
And we know the last field goal attempt came up short. Richie Leone had a tough time dealing with a snap from Pelto as the ball is slippery. It is still raining out there. So the snap is good. The hold looks good. And Ward's going to put this through and add 3 more for the Red Blacks. And they take a 9-1 lead with 10:43 left in the third quarter on TSN 690. Not the start he wanted, throwing an interception over 2 and then quick turnover. He's slated to get the third quarter for the Alouettes. Another opportunity for him, and a lot of the backups are in. Amontius, Gibbon, Hogan St. Don, Holmes, Shanks on the offensive line. So lots of different players getting an opportunity.
On that interception throw, Bethel Thompson was looking for Jordan Vesey, 29-year-old rookie. Bounced around the NFL for a little bit, a couple different practice rosters. Looking to resurrect his career here in Montreal.
Stevie Scott with a solid run, 13 yards right up the gut following his offensive line, so it was a good block. And that'll get the first down. Stevie Scott the third. Been part of the organization for a while on the practice roster. Bigger body than Walter Fletcher.
I was about to say, similar build to William Stanback.
Yeah. He's standing to the right of McLeod Bethel Thompson. He's going to go underneath. There's a nice little catch and run and up the field. Alouettes, Jalen Wayne with a good grab and run after the catch.
Just a tunnel screen to the left side. Good job by Wayne after making that catch, getting inside his blocks and right up the field. Jalen Wayne, last name may ring a bell.
Yes.
Cousin of former Indianapolis Colts receiver Reggie Wayne.
Yeah, that's a good bloodline to be part of if you're a wide receiver. And Wayne is to the left side. And it's going to be handoff to Stevie Scott. He's got a hold on the right. Can he get to the edge? And he high steps past a couple of defenders' legs, gets tripped up as he crosses the 30. But another 13-yard run and a first down for Stevie Scott the third. And this Alouettes offense finally on the move now that the backups are in. And on the heels of Stevie Scott.
Good eyes there as Scott starts that run to the left, but runs into a wall of Red Blacks defenders, winds it back to the right, able to squeeze between 2 would-be tacklers before getting up to that second level. Good-looking drive so far for the Alouettes running back.
Up to the Red Blacks 25, best field position for them all game. Bethel Thompson to the wide side. He's got a man. It's going to be caught VZ all the way to the 10. Another first down for the Alouettes. It's going to be 1st and goal, Montreal.
2 rookie Owls receivers with some good plays here in the 3rd quarter as the Alouettes will have the best field position they've had so far in this football game. Ball spotted down at the Ottawa 10-yard line. Just over 8 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
In the shotgun, McLeod, Bethel Thompson. He backs up in the pocket. He's protected, looking in the end zone, and it's up. Looking for Jalen Wayne. A lot of hand fighting, no flag. And it goes incomplete. 2nd and 10.
And Wayne was tied up in the end zone there with Gavin Heslop. Well covered, but Bethel Thompson figured, at best it's a 50-50 throw. Let me take a shot over there. But Jalen Wayne unable to come down with that one, and it'll be 2nd and goal for the Owls from the Ottawa 10-yard line.
So 2nd and goal. Scott in the backfield. Taking the snap, Bethel Thompson. Looking up. He'll go underneath, and it's dropped. As Oladeo couldn't hang on to it. He was staying in the backfield to help protect, but then he stepped out the moment Bethel Thompson stepped out, and he threw it as he reached the 10-yard line. Goes incomplete. It's 3rd and goal, and the Alouettes will bring the field goal unit out.
And that's a key role as that blocking receiver. We've seen Cole Speaker do it so well in this Montreal offense, especially in those 2nd and long situations when the offense is expecting pressure from the defense. They'll bring in that 5th receiver to act as an extra blocker in protection. Good job there chipping and getting out, but just unable to hang on to the football as Bethel Thompson was trying to check it down to him.
And 3 points for Joshua Hutley, who comes into the game. The lefty gives the Owls 4 as they had 1. So it's 9-4 with 7:12 left in the 3rd quarter on TSN 690. Well, the Alouettes cut the lead back down to 5, 9-4. That's a football score for you. Preseason football halfway through the 3rd quarter. And what's been a non-offensive affair between the REDBLACKS and the Montreal Alouettes.
Yeah, it took 2.5 quarters, but the Alouettes finally get a scoring drive out of their offense as they come away with 3 points on that one, as the REDBLACKS will take over at their own 40-yard line. Matthew Schiltz still in at quarterback for the Ottawa offense.
Receivers in motion. Fakes the handoff in the pocket, looking downfield. Ball is up, and he overthrows his man. Goes incomplete. He's looking downfield into Al's territory.
That was Al's defense back. Darian McKenzie in good coverage there. Schiltz was looking for the corner route over on the left side. 2nd and long as the Alouettes defense looking over at the sideline, waiting for the call from defensive coordinator Noel Thorpe.
They'll bring 5 on this rush. Schiltz throwing. He's got a man right up the middle. Crossover. Schnee makes the catch. Sam Schnee gets the ball into Alouette territory. That's about 20 yards to the 51.
Schnee, first-year CFLer out of northern Iowa, lined up in the left side slot, able to get inside of the Owls defender and find some space right over the middle of that Montreal defense.
Owls got 7 up on the line, and they're going to throw underneath, and it's going to be caught, but diving to the turf right away with Schnee again for no gain as he lands on the line of scrimmage. He made the catch, fell to the turf, so it was an easy tag up for the Owls defense.
Signature defensive call from this Montreal defense as they had 7 up on the line of scrimmage, bringing that overload blitz. Good job by Schiltz getting the football out of his hands quickly, but the receiver unable to keep his footing as he falls after a short gain.
Makes it 2nd and 10. Owls bringing 4. Schiltz in the pocket. It's well protected. Up, and it's tipped off the hands of the Alouettes. and into the hands of Andre Miller. As the Owls had the opportunity, it was in and out. So close to being picked off. Nate Beauchemin thought he had it, but Andre Miller makes the grab. First down all the way to the Alouette 30.
Beauchemin, the rookie out of the University of Calgary, Alouette's second-round pick, was the 2024 President's Trophy winner for the best defender in youth sports last season. Got two hands on that one, but just unable to come up with the interception.
Keelan White with a short gain of 2 yards on first down. It'll be 2nd and 8 to the Alouettes 28. He was looking for that, though.
He's in great position to make a play on the football there, Beauchemin, on that previous play.
Owls, 3 down linemen on this one. But they're going to bring 5. Schultz flag on the play. He's in the pocket. He's in trouble being chased down, but he runs out to the left side. Going towards the sideline. He's going to step out after a gain of about 3. But flags off the snap on both sides of the ball.
Hors-jeu, offside. La ligne défensive de Montréal, defensive line, 5-yard penalty, 5 verges de pénalité, deuxième reprise, second down repeated.
So it'll be 2nd and 3 instead of 2nd and 8. Would have been a 3rd and 4 with Schultz running out of bounds. So 2nd and 3 from the 23. Drive stays alive for the REDBLACKS. Schultz getting the call from the sidelines. Owls defense looking towards the sideline.
Looks like the REDBLACKS offense has taken a more traditional approach here in the second half as they've began huddling most of the first half with Drew Brown at the helm. We saw the REDBLACKS calling their plays from the line of scrimmage, trying to push the pace. Looks like they're slowing things down now, which is understandable with so many new faces on the field with this offensive unit.
They're going to hand it off, and it's going to be an easy trot into the end zone. Samuels, touchdown Ottawa. From the 23, there was a big hole on the right side, untouched. And the REDBLACKS now have a 15-4 lead here in the third quarter.
Looked like some issues with gap assignment there on that Montreal defense as Jalen Samuels takes the handoff from Schultz, and as soon as he got past the first level of that defense, no Owls defenders in the vicinity as North Carolina State product waltzes into the end zone, and with this Lewis Ward extra point, that'll put the REDBLACKS up 16-4 with just over 3 minutes left in the third quarter.
And that third quarter continues on TSN 690. Jalen Samuels, an easy trot in once he got by that line of scrimmage into the end zone, and the REDBLACKS ready to kick things off. They're in control, 16-4, 3:26 left in the third quarter. Don't forget, a little doubleheader of sports action on TSN 690, CF Montreal. Their coverage begins when we conclude here at Percival Molson Stadium, but still lots of football left and a lot of people to get an eye on and see where they fit in. Getman will punt this off. John Lindsay will grab it at the 15. He'll go to the far side of the field, follow his blockers, hop over one of his players, and get tackled as he crosses over the 35.
Well, it looks like that ball came out.
Yeah, the ball's loose. As Ottawa's saying they have it, even though there are players still on top of it. We didn't get an indication for the referee right away. Maybe it was turf, but they're saying REDBLACKS football as Dejon Lindsay fumbles that return, and the Owls defense is marching out on the field. So another turnover, and we'll take a little bit of a break. REDBLACKS football, and they're in control 16-4 in the third quarter on TSN 690. That's a couple fumbles there for Lindsay. One was called back because of a penalty, but on that return, he fumbles the ball for the Alouettes, and the REDBLACKS get the ball right back after scoring a touchdown, and they're starting from the Alouettes 37.
With the emphasis on ball security since the beginning of training camp for the Alouettes. Lindsay having a tough one here this afternoon as the Red Blacks offense will take over with good field position. Ball at the Montreal 37.
It is wet and a little damp out there. Schultz taking the snap. He'll throw that off to the left side. And no gain.
Good read on the play there by Al's linebacker, Trey Thomas, who was there almost immediately after Samuels caught that football. Unable to take him down, but a couple of Al's defenders pursuing. Able to take him down for a loss. That'll push the Ottawa offense back to the Montreal 42-yard line as they'll be facing the second and extra long.
So with that loss, the Red Blacks put 5 receivers out there. Schultz stepping up. He'll go underneath, and he'll find Samuels putting his shoulder down, and he runs into K.D. Davis. He'll make the tackle in his 3rd down.
Alouettes only rushing 3 there, keeping everything in front of them. Don't want to get beat deep as they force Schultz to check it down underneath, and some good tackling. Will stop the Red Blacks well short of the 1st down marker, and
they'll go for the field goal from 42 yards out.
Another opportunity for this Red Blacks field goal unit to try and iron out some kinks, as we saw an extra point get blocked earlier in this football game. Another mishandled snap later in the 2nd quarter.
And Lewis Ward is going to put this up, and flag on the play as it goes through. So right now that is a 19-4 lead for the Red Blacks, but we'll see what the flag is. That flag was thrown as the ball was in the air. It's against Ottawa.
Oh no, it'll be against Montreal.
It's against Montreal. He pointed towards on it, but this is going to take the field goal off the board and put the offense right back out there. And I did say it was Schultz. I'm sorry, it is Dustin Crum in at quarterback.
Montréal numéro 90 a foncé directement sur le joueur de centre. Pénalité de 15 verges, premier essai automatique.
So that's Trevin Mason, and that's
Major
that rule.
Foul, unnecessary roughness. Montreal number 90 went directly through the center. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
And that could be one of those rules that some American players just don't know about here in the CFL. Can't touch that center on the kick.
Yeah.
And that'll move the ball inside the 20. And the Red Blacks offense, so take the field goal off the board. It's still 16-4 with 90 seconds left. And it is Dustin Crum in at quarterback for the Red Blacks. Dustin Crum with 4 receivers over the left, 3-man rush. Now the blitz coming. Crum goes underneath. He's got his man, and he's tripped up as he tries to turn outfield. As Jones got to about the 15-yard line, gain of 4. 2nd and 6 upcoming. Crum getting the call.
Just a short underneath route from Latrell Jones, product out of Southern Mississippi.
Final minute of the 3rd quarter. Crum's got Samuels in the backfield to his left. He's going to roll to his left. He's looking in the back of the end zone. He's got a man wide open. Touchdown, Ottawa.
Good throw there by Dustin Crum off of the zone read, rolling to his left. Always a tough throw for a right-handed quarterback, but he's able to drop a dime to the back of the end zone.
Andre Miller wide open in the back of that end zone.
After the turnover on the kickoff return, which gave the Red Blacks some good field position.
Sorry, that was Sam Schnee, 86, not 88.
Red Blacks able to convert that turnover into some points. They had a field goal on the board, but after the roughing call against Trevon Mason, Red Blacks got another crack at it, and this time Crum able to connect with Schnee in the end zone, and with that Lewis Ward extra point, that'll extend the Ottawa lead to 18 as the score make that 19 with the extra point. The score now 23-4 for the Ottawa Red Blacks with just under 20 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. So a couple of miscues by the Alouettes, costing them here in the third quarter.
Got a new returner for the Alouettes. Marion Dolison. Dolson standing back at the 15 after Tajon Lindsay took the last few kickoffs. 20 seconds left here in the third quarter. Dolison going to get his opportunity as he waits for this kickoff from Getman. End over end kick. He's got to back up all the way to his 8-yard line. Now he'll pick up speed on the outside, trying to find the lane. He'll get pushed out of bounds as he crosses the 30. Never really found the lane at the 31. And McLeod Bethel Thompson with 14 seconds left in the third quarter, as he missed a drive with that fumble. Probably his last opportunity at the quarterback position for the Alouettes. He's 2 for 6, 33 yards.
It's a couple of Red Blacks defenders late to get on the field. Andre Prue will give him a second to get lined up before whistling this play in.
Travis Thies, the running back, in there, and it's going to be a short gain. About 4 yards to the 35 with 2.1 seconds left, so we'll have another play before we have change of quarter.
That's a little break in the action here. We have a special listener this afternoon, the one and only Calvin Bruyette back home. Thought about coming to the game today, shied away because of the rain, but we can expect him to be at Percival Molson Stadium at least once this year to take in one of these Montreal Alouettes games.
Looking forward to that. Bethel Thompson throwing. He's got a man wide open on the far side of the field, up the field into Red Blacks territory. Great catch on the far side. It's broken coverage. Jose Barbone all the way to the 45 of the Red Blacks, and that'll take us to the end of the quarter. But McLeod Bethel Thompson spotting the open man, spotting the busted coverage, able to move the football for the Owls. Through 3 quarters of play, preseason action, Alouettes trailed the Red Blacks 23-4 on TSN 690. Looks like they're going to let McLeod Bethel Thompson finish off this drive before they look at some other quarterbacks. 4-man rush, throwing right away and trying to find his man Wayne, but in and out of the hands. Tight coverage from the Red Blacks, 2nd and 10. From the Red Black 45.
The decision was right as he was looking for Wayne in the left side slot. It was a high halfback over on that side, but good job by the hook curl defender getting over there and contesting that catch. As that one goes incomplete. Bethel Thompson only 3 for 8 in this football game. 63 yards, including that long completion to Barbone late in the third quarter.
In the pocket, Bethel Thompson. He's got his man, and it's going to be Adeleo. They're going to say it's a catch. Red Blacks thought it hit the turf, but it did not. It's going to be short of the first down. 3rd and 3 from the 39. Looks like the Owls are going to go for it.
And once again, one of those situations that you can't quite replicate in practice. Good opportunity here for the players and the staff to see what kind of play call they want on this 3rd and a long 2.
Yeah, 2.5. They're blitz coming. McLeod Bethel Thompson going right up the middle. It's up for VC, and it goes incomplete. VC kind of cut towards the middle, went over his head, just out the outstretched arm of Shakur Brown. He got his fingertips on it, goes incomplete. Turnover on downs. It is Red Black football.
And VC made the right read there as there was no post defender in the middle of the field. He was able to get inside of the Red Blacks cover man, but Bethel Thompson just letting that ball hang a little too far outside. Ideally, he would have thrown him open deeper down the middle of the field, but a little miscommunication there between quarterback and receiver. And the Red Blacks offense will take over from their own 38-yard line.
And Dustin Crump throwing right away, and Alouettes almost read that. Tried to throw it quickly for the wide receiver screen, going incomplete. It was off the mark, and tried to get it into the hands of Lincoln Victor. So 2nd and 10 upcoming from their own 38-yard line. 13 minutes and 15 seconds left of this preseason game. We'll get you some CF Montreal football. That's right, the other football. Some soccer coming up right after this. 5 receiver set for Dustin Crum. Taking the snap. 4-man rush in the pocket. He's in trouble and he's going down. Call that a group sack if you want. He never actually hit the turf. As 3 Alouettes celebrate. Yeah, Corey Robertson in there. Trying to get his hand in the mix. Willington Pavilion. Refs whistle that down. There could be a loss of 8. 3rd down, and the Red Blacks will punt that away.
Alouettes defense had 7 down near the line of scrimmage, but at the snap, they bail out, forcing Crum to hang on to the football, and with some good coverage on the back end, 4-man rush able to hit home. Good stop by the Alouettes defense.
Getman booting this away, and Dolison will grab it just inside his own 40. He'll go to the far side of the field. If he can get the edge, there's going to be a flag, and he'll get tackled. He couldn't get that edge. Flags all over this one at the 45.
There's some extracurriculars back there as there are 2 players tied up on the ground.
Well, we'll sort it all out when we come back as the referees. The hold, or there was a little bit more as well. 12:05 left in the 4th quarter, 23-4, Red Blacks lead. Here in Montreal against the Alouettes. A sparse crowd, as they were expecting about 12 to 13,000, and then the rain came down, but many still sticking around with their ponchos. But the Alouettes with a penalty, a face mask, bringing that football all the way back to the 25. And James Morgan will be in at quarterback.
2nd-year man out of Florida International, spent some time on the Alouettes practice roster last year. Did get in uniform a couple of times with the injuries to Cody Fajardo and Caleb Evans. So he'll try and lead this Montreal offense, but with the face mask call going against Hakeem Harris on that return, Alouettes offense backed up to their own 25-yard line to start this drive.
Morgan in the shotgun, looking to throw right away. Far side of the field, he's got his man Wayne making the grab, and Jalen Wayne looking sharp here in the 2nd half for the Alouettes, and he'll get about 8 yards.
Good decision by Morgan as the Red Blacks were bringing some pressure off of the edge. Wayne isolated over there on the left side. Just a quick slant as Morgan delivers a strike that'll put the Owls ahead of the sticks here. 2nd and short.
Interesting, they just brought Regis Sibasu back in. Helping on the block as they hand that off to Thies, and looks like he's got enough for the 1st down. I thought Sibasu's day was done, but now he'll come in for the block, and no, he's going to stay in.
Travis Thies, very stout build at 5'9", 208, the South Dakota product. Rushed for 19 touchdowns last year.
Morgan throwing, he's got a man on the far side of the field, and that's another 1st down. Pitch and catch to John Lindsay. And the Owls will get right on top of that football. James Morgan moving the football, starting at his own 25, already up to his 52.
Well, that's putting a lot on the plate for some of these young receivers. Going with the no huddle, had a personnel change at the same time.
He's going to roll out to his left. Adeleo will make that grab, cross over midfield, and get into Red Black territory and make it 2nd and short. 2nd about 3.5.
For the zone read, Morgan pulls it and dumps it out to the bender, coming from right to left behind the line of scrimmage out in that left side flat. And the Alouettes continue with this no-huddle offense as they move into Red Blacks territory.
Morgan throwing again right away. Oh, in and out of the hands. And Jalen Wayne upset, slams his fist against the turf. It was a little bit behind him, but he did get hands on it, and he was hoping to get that first down, but it looks like the offense is going to stay out on the field once again. 9:39 left in the fourth quarter. Alouettes trailing 23-4. Not like the score matters in preseason, but another 3rd and 4 coming up. Need to get to the 48 of the REDBLACKS, sitting at their 52. James Morgan, 4 receivers to his right. And he's got a man. It's Oladeo will make the grab right near the first down marker, and I think it's enough. Nice grab. Oladeo moving the chains for Montreal, 3rd down.
Good catch by Oladeo as that ball was short and behind him as he was running out in the right side flat, but good body control and concentration as he hangs on to that one.
Right to the ball again, James Morgan. Down the field looking for Jalen Wayne, and it just again touches his hand, but it hit the turf first, just a little bit underneath. Incomplete.
No, it looked like Morgan was trying to throw his receiver back downhill, but Wayne just didn't hit the brakes in time and kind of stumbled trying to get back to that one. Almost got 2 hands underneath it. Unable to hang on to it. Wayne's been seeing quite a few targets here in this second half.
The Alouettes still looking for it, 2nd and 10. That's his 6th target, only 2 catches though. Blitz coming. James Morgan throwing right away to Tejon Lindsay, and he goes back against the grain. If he turned right, he might have been closer to the first down marker, but he turned left. And now it's going to be 3rd and 2, another big 3rd down, 3rd and 3. They're going to mark him back at the 40 because he backed up, and the Owls are going for it again on 3rd down, 8-10 left in the fourth quarter. James Morgan barking orders. 5 receivers set. Nelms is in the backfield with him. Taking the snap, 4-man rush. James Morgan throwing again. He's got Wayne for the first down, moving the chains. Been impressed with James Morgan here.
Yeah,
on this drive.
Throwing with authority out there, very confident in his reads, doing a good job getting the football out of his hands. This time on 3rd down, throws it low and a little outside to his receiver, but good ball placement as he allowed his receiver to protect himself and come up with that catch.
From the 33, new set of downs. James Morgan in the back pocket. And he's got Nelms on the screen, far side of the field, protecting the ball, pumping his legs. He's got a first down to the 21. Tanner Nelms making the grab. Morgan barking orders right away. There's still players down on the field. He's like, no, let's go, up to the ball. Tick, tick, tick. Playing the hurry up. Catching a defense for the REDBLACKS that looks tired. James Morgan, one of the best drives of the day for the Alouettes. Looking in the end zone, the ball's up for Barbone. It's up, knocked down. Shakur Brown with a hand on that one, incomplete. Looking at the back of the end zone.
Yeah, it looked like Barbone was able to get behind the REDBLACKS defender, but that ball just thrown a little short, allowing Brown to get a hand on that one. But I like the aggressive play by James Morgan there, taking a shot at the end zone. He had the one-on-one coverage down that right sideline, but just unable to connect with his intended receiver.
So 2nd and 10 from the 21. James Morgan able to huddle this time with the clock ticking away. 6:35. Receivers in motion, 4-man rush. Morgan again looking in the end zone, waiting at the back. It's up and it goes incomplete. Looking for Tejon Lindsay. Kind of had to stutter, step, and wait. It was into double coverage, and it's 3rd down.
Another shot, this time down the left side seam, as it looked like the deep middle defender for the REDBLACKS got caught flat-footed. And so Morgan takes another shot at the end zone. That ball just looked like it didn't come out clean as it was wobbling a little bit towards the back of that end zone. And it looks like the Owls will leave the offense out there here on 3rd and 10 from the Ottawa 21-yard line.
So they've had a couple 3rd down conversions. And Alouettes are going to be offside on the play, so they're going to have to convert to get another chance, and it goes incomplete. They're going to look like receiver on the near side for the Alouettes. Jumped the route, just the timing was off. And then
hors-jeu, offside, Montreal, Montréal, numéro 88. Pénalité refusée. Premier essai, Ottawa.
So that's DeJohn Lindsay, and that's offside. The ball was incomplete towards the end zone from James Morgan. Impressive drive, but no points. And it's red-black football. 6:04 left in the fourth, 23-4. Ottawa leads on TSN 690. Again by the Owls, but the Owls are just going for it on third down 23-4 here in the fourth quarter. Don't forget, some CF Montreal soccer coming up at 7 o'clock. John Still, Grant Needham will have the call. But the Red Blacks started from their own 21. But there's still jobs to be had, and even if you don't get a job, you get noticed, that means you're going to be the first one to get a phone call, right, Marco?
Yeah, absolutely. And they'll have that base knowledge of both the offensive and defensive systems that these Montreal Alouettes run. So if something does happen throughout the season where they need somebody to come in and be ready to play that same week, at least some of those guys will have a head start and will probably be pretty high up on that call list.
Yeah, Tyree Adams, new quarterback alert for the Red Blacks. The handoff to Elijah Collins. He'll get about 3 yards. 2nd and 7 coming up. Tyree Adams decides to run with the ball. Watch out, he's very dynamic with his feet. He was in and out of the lineup for the Red Blacks last season. It's in the shotgun, 5-receiver set. Alouettes. 5 men down, 4 will rush. Tyree Adams up the middle, incomplete. Owls had a look at that ball. Tresman Marshall in and out of his hands. It's a 2 and out. The Red Blacks will punt this away.
Well, it's a good job there by Alouettes linebacker Tresman Marshall. He was down on the line of scrimmage at the snap of the football. He pops out and he got right underneath that route in the throwing lane, forcing Adams to try and lead his receiver, but that one ends up falling incomplete, and the Alouettes will get the football back, and we'll see if it's James Morgan that comes back out or if this Montreal crowd will get a look at hometown hero Jonathan Senecal, the former Université de Montréal Carabin quarterback, 2023 Heck Creighton winner for the top player in youth sports football.
The Getman ready to punt this away, and Dollison waits inside his own 40, steps up to the 40, far side of the field, staggering with his steps as he gets to about the 50. And it looks like we're going to have Jonathan Senecal, to the delights of many fans here that have stayed here in the rain, in at quarterback. That's coming up next. 5:02 left in the fourth quarter. 23-4. Red Blacks lead on TSN 690. Jonathan Senecal going to get a chance at quarterback. Where did he go to university, Marco?
Oh, the one and only Université de Montréal, and he could be making history on this drive. The first former Carabin quarterback to throw a pass in a CFL game.
And he's going to throw that pass, and it goes incomplete. As they had the play fake in and out of the hands of his receiver.
Shedler Furvius coming across the formation from right to left. It's now Senecal and the Montreal offense facing a 2nd and 10.
Thiessen at running back, standing to his right, 5-receiver set, 3 to his right. Receivers in motion, taking the snap, blitz coming, he's gonna roll to his right. He's got Green in front of him, pump fake, and he's gonna run for the first down. Senecal, we've got a group of, looks like to be former teammates down to our left, absolutely elated at that first down from Senecal.
Good job by Senecal. Didn't like what he saw, but the defensive end on the left side of that Red Blacks defense ends up getting pinned inside, allowing Senecal to spill out, using those legs to go get the first down. As that'll take it down to the Ottawa 47-yard line.
That'd be a nice fun thing to cheer for if he's able to do something on this drive in the pocket. He's got to spin around out to his left again. Gets clipped up just from behind. As again, he had Green sacked. Loss of about 4. And it's going to be 2nd and long. Good pocket awareness, just couldn't find it. Do we have to go check the internet, or could I ask you a question? Who had better numbers at University of Montreal?
Oh, gosh. On the bench press, or are we talking passing yards here?
Of course, not the first quarterback to be drafted out of University of Montreal for the Alouettes. It's the first one to take a snap at quarterback, Marco.
Not that I didn't want to or ask to.
Senecal in the pocket, rolling to his right. He's going to go underneath the Harris. He's got to make up some yards, and it'll be about an 8-yard gain, but about 8 yards short. But the Alouettes have been going for it on 3rd down, might as well, as we approach the 3-minute warning.
There it is, that first completion for Senecal as he's able to find Harris over on the right side.
He'll get another opportunity here. Play is whistled in, so final play before the 3-minute warning. Jonathan Senecal, 3rd and about 7.5, 8. Needs to get to the 37 of the REDBLACKS. Receivers in motion, and receivers are offside as both slot receivers. Way back, it's going to be a much longer 3rd down. And we'll get it on the other side.
Sure, offside. Montreal, numéro 76, number 76. 5-yard penalty, 5 yards de pénalité. 3e repris.
Yeah, Ferdinand and Lutz, both receivers, go offside on that one. 2:47, that 3rd and 12 upcoming next on TSN 690. Up 12. Alouettes at the REDBLACKS 50. They got to get up the field, and Jonathan Senecal, drafted in this past draft, getting an opportunity in at quarterback at the end of this preseason game.
And he'll still have a year of eligibility if he's unable to hang on with the Owls this year, although a rule change in the CFL has made it that draft picks no longer remain property of the team that drafted them in the case they're cut and go back.
Senecal puts it up, and it's tipped incomplete. He took a hit on the shot. He had to throw the ball. It was 3rd down, and it goes incomplete. But he's right back up, and it'll be another turnover on down. So, yeah, interesting rule if that happens, right?
Yeah, in the past, when a team drafted someone, if they sent him back to youth sports following training camp, they retained his rights and would have the ability to bring him back to the following year's training camp after spending a 5th year at the youth sports level. But now, those guys will be free agents and will have to look to try and catch on with any other CFL team. Although only 4 quarterbacks in uniform tonight. You can't forget Caleb Evans, also in the mix at quarterback for the Alouettes.
Hand off, Collins can't get around the edge. And that'll be a loss about 4 yards. Nicely defended, nicely jumped up. MJ Sherman in with that aggressive play. And those are the plays that get noticed. Sherman making the team, not making the team, making a practice roster, being first on the call list if someone gets hurt. This is what these players are playing for at this moment.
Yeah, and
both sides of the football. Collins on the running back, Sherman at the defensive line.
MJ Sherman was a name that came up during my pregame conversation with Al's defensive coordinator, Noel Thorpe.
And there's a little pitch and catch. Nice little tackle in the backfield. Alouettes getting involved. Don Callis in on that. And that's going to be a 2-and-out. They're going to punt the ball away, and that means the Owls will, maybe Jonathan Senecal will get another drive late here in the 4th quarter.
Guess we got a new return man back there.
I think it's Hakeem Harris.
For the Alouettes.
That's Thies. Oh, no, that's Thies. 31, not 11.
Interesting build for a punt returner.
Yeah, Travis Thies, the 5'09", 208. Let's see if he wants to go straight up the middle or if he's going to try and hit the edge. Which one are you going to guess?
He looks like a north-south runner to me.
Getman ready to punt this away. He's going to grab it on the run and try and go right up the middle. He's got a little bit of hole, and there you go. Thies down the sidelines. And he's pushed out of bounds inside the 40 at the 37. No left to right, just found the seam, and there's some quickness there.
These
like I said, does not have the build as a returner, but that looked good.
Well, he's making his case. We saw Lindsay struggle throughout this game with the fumble and the muffed punt at the end of the first half. This could be a guy they leave. Could be an off returner on kickoff return as well. Usually reserved for a running back type body.
Senecal throwing to Dollison, in and out of his hands on a little quick slant. And with 1:24, another try for Jonathan Senecal.
Well thrown ball by Senecal. He's unable to hang on to it there.
I know this group next to us down here, they just want him to chuck it into the end zone here.
They'd love to see the fireworks go off with a Senecal touchdown pass here late in the fourth quarter of this first preseason game for the Montreal Alouettes. Next week they'll be on the road at TD Place in Ottawa.
And another drop in and out of the hands of Lutz. Would have been short about 2 yards as he pulled up a little bit too soon, and the Alouettes will send in the field goal unit.
Good read by Senecal as he had the high halfback in the cover 3 look on the right side there. Had his man on the hitch route right in the slot, just unable to hang on to it. So Senecal will head back to the sideline. Opportunity to evaluate another kicker here.
The lefty, Hutley's got a 17-yard field goal. This one from 45. That's good enough. And the Alouettes at least have a football number next to their name. 7 on the board to the 23 of Ottawa with 1:14 remaining. 2 field goals on a rouge. It looks like a touchdown, but it's not.
With less than 3 minutes left in the game, REDBLACKS don't have the option to take the football at the 40, so we will have a kickoff here. Another opportunity for both of these coaching staffs to
onside,
get some film on their,
just try
their special teams unit. Hey, why not? This is the time, right? You practice it in training camp. You know you're going to need it at some point this season. Why not get a look at it now here late in the fourth quarter of this football game, as that Alouettes kickoff unit is taking quite a bit of time over there on the sideline with special teams coordinator Byron Archambault. Looks like they're a little bit confused about where they should be on the field.
Special teams backups, and it's special teams backups that may not have played special teams in the CFL ever before.
A little bit of course correction there as they got to run back to the far end of the field.
You think the CFL will ever adopt the new way that the NFL does kickoffs? Some sort of variant of it? I know we had the commissioner with us, but it wasn't a thought that I had at that moment.
You know, I think it would be unfortunate because so many guys are given opportunities to play professional football due to their ability to play on special teams in the CFL, and to take that away from the game could be devastating for those guys, as they did try the onside kick.
They did, and they didn't line up for an onside kick. They looked like they were going to kick it away, but Huntley just kicked it towards the first guy that he thought looked a lot nervous, but he was able to make that grab. Nicely done defensively. As Jones able just to make that catch.
You got to think that long sideline huddle by the kickoff unit might have given it away.
They're going to kick it here and do this. So Tyree Adams with just over a minute left in at quarterback for the REDBLACKS. They're going to get the ball at the Alouette 44 after the onside attempt. And he's going to call his own number and dive forward to the 40 for about 3 yards. 2nd and 7 upcoming. But yeah, these are the little things you see happen south of the border. Is that going to happen north of the border? And they did it more for safety. But with the NFL kickoff, there was just a lot more violence, I guess, a lot more injuries than you see in the CFL game on the kickoffs, because there are a lot of injuries when you have so many players running at full speed.
Yeah, and the CFL has made some changes over the years with player safety in mind, they've limited the ability for return teams to create those three-man wedges, try and reduce those big collisions as much as possible.
Collins run off to the left side. It's going to be short. It's going to be third down. Looks like the offense is just, no, they're going to punt it away. For a field goal attempt, long field goal attempt. I thought they were just going to play another play with 43 seconds left, but no, they'll bring out the field goal unit. No, getting it. They're bringing out the punt unit. They don't even want to try a 45-yard field goal.
That might please the fans here in Montreal, as they may get another snap or two out of rookie quarterback Jonathan Senecal.
I want to see Travis Thies return again as he's back inside his 5. He might be my favorite returner.
So he's about 5 yards deep in the Montreal end zone right now.
Yeah. And Getman will get it to the 10, and Thies is nowhere to go. Tackled at the 12. And with 13 seconds left, we'll see what the Alouettes want to do as they're back at their own 12-yard line. But yeah, this is anybody stand out for you? We don't have much of a post-game show. It's going to be take you to 7 o'clock. But anybody stand out for you today in a game which the Alouettes weren't really in, 23-7?
Yeah, weren't very many fireworks on the offensive side of the football, but I did like what I saw out of Stevie Scott III. Had a couple of good hard runs inside. Doing a good job. 3 carries for 30 yards, along of 14. And
well, no knees here, even with 13 seconds left. Jonathan Senecal is going to make the most of this opportunity, taking the snap, and he's going to hand this off. Thies will get 3-4 yards up the middle, and 9.1 seconds left. And should be the final play as time is ticked down, barring a penalty.
On the defensive side of the ball, rookie Taiwan Mullen leads the way with 4 tackles, credited a quarterback Zach Mullen, actually the cousin of Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson.
It's another handoff over to Nelms, and he takes it to the 20. No time left on the clock, and the Alouettes fall in this preseason matchup to the Ottawa REDBLACKS here at Percival Molson Stadium, 23-7. Yeah, just a couple players that got involved today, and I bet these players are, chomping at the bit to get in on the field. They've been practicing. Like you said, they can't hit a quarterback. They can't really hit the opposition. Yes, you're battling hard, but it is your teammate in the end when you're in training camp. So I still feel like maybe this game felt that the Alouettes, maybe they changed their game plan for game number 2. I told you I didn't think Davis Alexander was going to make the trip, but maybe he does now.
Yeah, I don't think that he's going to be satisfied with his performance. I think the expectations were high for him, not only from the outside, but for himself as well. The fact of the matter is he is now the face of this franchise. The Alouettes making a commitment to Davis Alexander by trading Cody Fajardo, signing Alexander to a new contract. And I think Alouettes fans would have liked to have seen that first unit offense come out and operate a little more smoothly than they did today. The first drive looked pretty good. It stalled in Ottawa territory. But after that, a handful of 2-and-outs from the Montreal offense. And so they're going to have to go back and take a look at this film. But at the same time, you got to wonder, what kind of game plan did they come into this football game with? The reality of it is they're playing the REDBLACKS today. They're playing them again on Friday. And then they're going to play them in the second game